The first step to rebuilding yourself is to acknowledge the brokenness. It's not easy to look at the pieces of your life scattered around you. It's not easy to admit that something you held so tightly has slipped through your fingers. But denial will not lead to healing. Pretending that everything is fine when you're crumbling inside only prolongs the pain. To rebuild, you have to confront the truth of where you are. Brokenness is not a sign of failure, it's a part of being human. It's a sign that you've dared to live, dared to try, dared to love, dared to dream. The world might tell you that brokenness is weakness, that it's something to be ashamed of or hidden away. But I want you to understand that brokenness is also an opportunity. It's a chance to pause, reflect, and begin again. Think about it, when a seed is planted in the ground, it doesn't grow until its shell is broken. The breaking is what allows the growth. The breaking is what allows the potential within to come forth. And just like that seed, your brokenness is not the end of the story, it's the beginning of something new. When you acknowledge your brokenness, you allow yourself to feel the weight of what you've lost. You grieve, you cry, you mourn, and that's okay. That's necessary. But in that grieving, you also give yourself the chance to let go of what was and make room for what can be. You begin to understand that the breaking isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to strip away what no longer serves you and prepare you for what's next. But to get there, you must be honest with yourself. You must look at the cracks, the scars, the fragments, and say, this is where I am right now. You must allow yourself to sit with the discomfort, to ask the hard questions, to feel the full weight of your emotions. It's not weakness to admit that you're hurt. It's not weakness to admit that you've made mistakes or that you've been wounded by life. In fact, it takes incredible strength to face your brokenness head on, to resist the urge to numb the pain or distract yourself with temporary fixes. Brokenness is messy, it's raw, it's vulnerable. It's a place where you feel exposed, unsure, and unsteady. But it's also a place of profound transformation. When you acknowledge your brokenness, you take the first step toward healing. You take the first step toward rebuilding. Perspective is a powerful tool that shapes the way you experience life. It's not just about what happens to you, it's about how you see it, interpret it, and respond to it. In the midst of brokenness, your perspective becomes the lens through which you view your circumstances. And that lens can either magnify the pain and despair, or it can reveal possibilities, opportunities, and a path forward. When we face setbacks, it's natural to focus on what we've lost. The dreams that didn't come to pass, the relationships that ended, the goals that slipped through our fingers, they loom large in our minds, casting shadows over everything else. But what if you shifted your focus? What if, instead of dwelling on what's gone, you began to see what remains? What if you began to notice the fragments of hope, the seeds of potential, the lessons hidden in the hardship? Perspective is not about denying the reality of your pain. It's about choosing how you frame that reality. Two people can face the same storm, but their perspectives can lead them to vastly different outcomes. One person might see only destruction, while the other sees an opportunity to rebuild something stronger and more beautiful than before. Your perspective is the key that unlocks the power to move forward, even when the odds seem stacked against you. I think about the stories of those who've turned tragedy into triumph. They didn't do it by ignoring their struggles, they did it by choosing to see those struggles differently. They saw failure as a stepping stone, not a dead end. They saw pain as a teacher, not an enemy. They saw brokenness not as the final chapter, but as the prelude to a greater story. Perspective transforms the impossible into the possible, the unbearable into the meaningful. And perspective doesn't just change the way you see your circumstances, it changes the way you see yourself. When you look at your challenges with the eyes of hope and determination, you begin to realize that you're stronger than you thought. You begin to see that the trials you faced have equipped you with resilience, wisdom, and courage. You begin to understand that your worth is not diminished by your struggles, but enhanced by the way you rise above them. Perspective is not something that happens automatically, it's a choice. It's a decision you make every day, sometimes every moment, to focus on the light instead of the darkness, the possibilities instead of the limitations, the lessons instead of the losses. It requires effort, intention, and sometimes even a leap of faith. But when you choose to shift your perspective, you unlock a power within yourself that can carry you through even the most difficult times. Perspective allows you to reframe the narrative of your life. It enables you to look at the shattered pieces not as evidence of failure, but as the building blocks of something new. It helps you see that even in the midst of chaos, there is order waiting to be created. Even in the midst of pain, there is purpose waiting to be revealed. And even in the midst of brokenness, there is beauty waiting to emerge. To rebuild yourself, you must understand one fundamental truth: the process is everything. The road to healing, growth, and transformation is not a shortcut. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's certainly not a smooth, straight path. The process is messy, unpredictable, and often frustrating, but it's in the process that you find the strength, wisdom, and resilience to become who you were meant to be. The journey of rebuilding is like the sculptor chiseling away at a block of stone. With every strike, the block is transformed. Each cut might seem harsh, even painful, but in the end, a beautiful masterpiece begins to emerge. And just as the sculptor cannot rush the process, neither can you. Rebuilding is a series of small, deliberate actions that, over time, result in monumental change. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Too often we want instant results. We live in a world that celebrates quick fixes, immediate gratification, and fast success. We see others who seem to have it all together, and we compare our messy journey to their polished exterior. But the truth is, no one's progress is without struggle. No one's growth is without challenge. The process isn't about perfection, it's about progression. It's about moving forward one step at a time, even when you don't see the full picture or feel the immediate results. Embracing the process means accepting that setbacks are a part of the journey. There will be moments when you feel like you're taking one step forward only to be knocked 2 steps back. There will be days when the weight of your circumstances feels unbearable. But it's in those moments of difficulty that you build resilience. It's in those moments of doubt and discouragement that your faith is refined. Every struggle, every obstacle, every roadblock is shaping you, preparing you for the next level. You must also embrace the reality that growth isn't always linear. There will be times when it feels like you're making progress, and other times when it seems like you've hit a wall. Don't be discouraged when things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like, or when the change doesn't appear as dramatic as you had hoped. The process is often slower than we want it to be, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. In fact, the slower you go, the stronger and more durable the foundation will be when you finally reach your destination. Quick fixes might give you temporary relief, but lasting transformation requires time, patience, and a willingness to persevere through the challenges. Embracing the process also means being kind to yourself. You will make mistakes, you will stumble, you will experience moments of weakness, and you might even fall along the way. But that's part of being human. Growth isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. It's about showing up for yourself even when you don't have it all together, even when you don't feel strong, even when you're not sure how the pieces will fit. The process isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. It's about learning to trust yourself, to trust the journey, and to trust that the steps you're taking are leading you exactly where you need to be. The process also involves letting go of control. You can't rush it, you can't force it, you can't speed up time or skip ahead to the good parts. The more you try to control the process, the more frustrated and defeated you'll feel. You must learn to surrender to the journey, to trust that everything is unfolding as it should, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. Let go of the need to have all the answers right now and allow yourself to grow in the tension of uncertainty. In the process, you will discover strengths you didn't know you had. You will uncover layers of yourself that were buried under fear, doubt, and self-limiting beliefs. Every setback, every failure, every challenge will reveal something important about your character. You will grow more resilient, more courageous, and more equipped to face whatever comes your way. And as you embrace the process, you'll find that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. There is beauty in the struggle, meaning in the waiting, and power in the perseverance. Every moment you spend in the process is a step closer to the person you are becoming, a person capable of standing tall in the face of adversity, a person who has the strength to rebuild and transform. When you're in the process of rebuilding, one of the most critical aspects is understanding the importance of your foundation. The foundation is the core of who you are, the values, beliefs, and principles that guide you, the faith that sustains you, and the purpose that drives you. In the face of life's storms, this foundation is what will keep you standing. It's what gives you the strength to face adversity, the courage to continue moving forward, and the stability to weather whatever challenges come your way. The foundation is not built overnight. It's forged over time through your experiences, your choices, and the lessons you've learned. Your foundation is shaped by your roots, the things that ground you, the things you hold on to when everything else seems to be falling apart. These roots may be your faith, your family, your character, your commitment to truth, or your love for others. They are the anchors that give you the ability to rise above the chaos, to stand firm even when the winds of life blow harshly. The strength of your foundation determines how resilient you will be in the face of challenges. When you don't have a solid foundation, everything is uncertain. You can easily be swayed by the opinions of others, tossed about by the ups and downs of life, and discouraged by every setback. But when you have a strong foundation, you can stand firm. You are not easily shaken. The storms of life might batter you, but they won't break you. Your foundation is what gives you the confidence to face difficulties, knowing that you have something solid beneath you to support you, something unshakable, no matter how fierce the storm. However, you must also recognize that rebuilding is not about simply reinforcing the surface, it's about going deep. You can patch up the cracks, smooth over the rough edges, and paint over the damage, but true rebuilding happens when you focus on the foundation. It's about ensuring that your roots are deep enough to sustain your growth even in the most turbulent of times. Shallow foundations will collapse under pressure, but a deep and well-established foundation can endure and support growth even in the most trying of circumstances. In your journey of rebuilding, you must evaluate the integrity of your foundation. Are the things you've built your life upon truly solid? Are they reliable and trustworthy? Or are they fragile, built on shifting sands, vulnerable to external forces? If you're finding that your foundation isn't as strong as it should be, now is the time to reinforce it, to rebuild it on something that is lasting and true. For many of us, faith is the bedrock of our foundation. It's the belief that we are not alone in our struggles, that there is a higher purpose at work, even when we can't see it clearly. The faith in something greater than ourselves provides us with the strength to move forward when everything else seems uncertain. It's the quiet assurance that we are not defined by our failures or our pain, but by something much deeper and much more enduring. Faith in the foundation means trusting that even in our darkest moments, there is a purpose unfolding, a greater plan at work, and a future filled with hope. Faith in your foundation also means trusting the process of rebuilding. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't moving as quickly as we'd like, or when the journey seems harder than we anticipated. But faith reminds us that growth takes time. It reminds us that we don't have to see the whole picture to know that the pieces are coming together. It reminds us that even in the moments of struggle, we are being shaped, refined, and prepared for what is to come. A solid foundation also gives you the courage to take risks. When you know that your core values and beliefs are firm, you can step out in faith, knowing that you will not be easily swayed. Your foundation allows you to trust yourself in the process of rebuilding, even when the path is unclear. It gives you the strength to face challenges with confidence and resilience, knowing that whatever happens, your foundation will hold you steady. But building a strong foundation is not just about personal strength, it's about connection. It's about understanding that we are not meant to build our foundations in isolation. Our relationships with others, our family, our friends, our community serve as a crucial support system that helps fortify our foundation. When our personal foundation is reinforced by the love and encouragement of others, it becomes even more unshakable. We were never meant to rebuild alone. Our foundations are made stronger when we lean on others, when we allow them to lift us up and help carry us through the toughest moments. Finally, having faith in your foundation means trusting that you are never too far gone to rebuild. No matter how far you've fallen, no matter how broken you may feel, your foundation is still intact. It may have been cracked or damaged, but it hasn't disappeared. It's still there, ready to be reinforced, ready to support you in the next phase of your journey. Faith in your foundation is the belief that you can rise from the ashes, rebuild from the rubble, and become stronger than you were before. The beauty of rebuilding yourself lies not only in the process, but in the eventual comeback. When you've faced adversity, when you've hit rock bottom, when you've been knocked down time and time again, there's something extraordinary about the moment when you rise. The comeback is not just about returning to where you were before, it's about transcending where you were, stepping into a new version of yourself, and embracing the strength that you never knew you had. The comeback is a declaration to the world that you are not defined by your setbacks, your losses, or your failures. It is the powerful statement that you are more than the challenges you faced. It's a testimony to your resilience, to your refusal to be conquered, and to your unwavering belief that there is something greater in store for you. The comeback is the culmination of everything you've gone through, the pain, the struggle, the tears, all woven together into a story of victory. But let's be clear, the comeback is not easy. It's not a moment that happens simply because you decide to try again. The comeback is forged in the fires of hardship. It's built upon a foundation of perseverance, patience, and most importantly, belief. In the moments when you felt like giving up, when you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that was the moment the comeback was being shaped within you. The comeback is a product of everything you learned from your failures, every bit of wisdom gained from your mistakes, and every ounce of courage summoned from within when the world around you seemed to crumble. There will be those who doubt your ability to come back. There will be those who tell you that your time has passed, that you've missed your opportunity, that you'll never return to who you once were. But what they fail to realize is that the comeback isn't about returning to the past, it's about stepping into the future. The comeback doesn't look like what it did before. It doesn't mimic what you lost. It's something new, something better, something stronger. In celebrating your comeback, you honor your journey. You honor the fact that you kept moving even when the path was unclear. You honor the quiet victories, the ones no one saw, the ones where you picked yourself up when no one was watching, the ones where you held on just a little bit longer even when every part of you wanted to give in. It's easy to celebrate success once it's visible, once the world can see your triumph. But the real celebration starts in the quiet, behind the scenes, where you rebuild your spirit, where you rebuild your faith, and where you rebuild your faith, and where you rebuild your trust in yourself. The comeback is about acknowledging how far you've come, even when the journey seemed impossible. The comeback is a reminder that growth is never linear. It's not always a straight line from struggle to success. There are setbacks, there are moments of doubt, there are periods of waiting when you wonder if the struggle is worth it. But each of those moments is part of your comeback story. They are the chapters in your book that will make the ending all the more powerful. The comeback isn't about pretending the struggle didn't happen. It's about rising in spite of it. It's about saying, I've been through the fire, but I'm still here. I've been knocked down, but I refuse to stay down. As you celebrate your comeback, you must also recognize that it's not just about personal triumph. It's about inspiring others. Your comeback is a beacon of hope to someone else who is struggling. Yeah. It shows them that it's possible to overcome, that it's possible to rebuild, that it's possible to come back stronger than before. Your comeback is a testimony not just to your strength, but to the collective strength of humanity. You are part of a greater narrative, and your story, your victory, encourages others to keep pushing, to keep fighting, and to believe that they too can come back. Part of the beauty of the comeback is that it's not about achieving perfection. There's no perfect comeback, no flawless victory. The comeback is messy, it's complicated, it's imperfect, but it's yours. And that imperfection makes it all the more beautiful. When you celebrate your comeback, you're celebrating the scars, the marks of resilience, the proof that you've survived and thrived. You're not celebrating an image of yourself without flaws. You're celebrating a version of you that has been shaped by hardship, molded by experience, and strengthened by every obstacle you've faced. In the celebration of your comeback, remember to honor the small wins. Sometimes we wait for the grand moment, the huge breakthrough, the applause from the crowd. But true celebration comes when we pause and appreciate the quiet victories, the mornings when you woke up with hope in your heart, the days when you pushed through doubt, the times when you chose progress over perfection. Every step, every breath, every moment of forward motion is worth celebrating. The comeback also invites you to embrace the fullness of your story. You are not defined by just your triumphs or your failures. Your story is a tapestry of all the moments, good, bad, beautiful, painful, that have brought you to where you are now. Your comeback is the part of your story where you realize that the struggle has not been in vain. It has shaped you, refined you, and brought you closer to the person you were always meant to become. When you celebrate the comeback, you celebrate your ability to transform your pain into purpose, your setbacks into opportunities, and your losses into lessons. Your comeback doesn't just change your life, it transforms how you see the world. You begin to understand that every setback is an opportunity for growth, every failure is a lesson in disguise, and every hardship is a chance to rebuild something better. When you celebrate the comeback, you're celebrating the power of renewal, of rebirth, and of endless possibility. The comeback is not just a personal victory, it is a reminder that no matter how far you fall, you have the power to rise again. In the journey of rebuilding yourself, remember that brokenness is not the end, but the beginning of transformation. Your perspective shapes your path, and embracing the process allows you to grow through the challenges. Faith in your foundation gives you the strength to stand firm no matter the storm. And when the time comes to celebrate your comeback, do so with gratitude for the lessons learned, the strength gained, and the resilience you've discovered within yourself. Rebuilding is not a destination, it is a continuous, powerful journey, and with each step you become the person you are meant to be.